मैडम स्पीकर, मैं वर्ष 2019-20 के लिए भारत सरकार की अनुमानित प्रक्रिया और व्यय का वितरण प्रस्तुत करने के लिए आपसे अनुमति लेता हूँ। Madam Speaker, I rise to present the interim budget for the year 2019-2020.
Yes.
Part A. I am deeply conscious of the absence of Shri Arun Jaitley today. I am sure the House joins me in wishing Shri Jaitley speedy recovery, good health, and a long life in the service of the nation. Madam Speaker, the people of India gave a strong mandate to our government. Under the visionary leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, we have given the most decisive, stable and clean government and have undertaken transformational structural reforms. We have reversed the policy paralysis engulfing the nation and have restored the image of the country. इस सरकार की उपलब्धि रही कि हमने सोच को बदलने के अथक प्रयास करे और देश के आत्मविश्वास को बढ़ाया. I can proudly say that India is solidly back on track and marching towards growth and prosperity. We have prepared the foundation for sustainable growth, progress, and better quality of life for all our people. We are moving towards realizing a new India by 2022, when we celebrate 75 years of independence. An India which is clean and healthy, where everybody would have a house with universal access to toilets, water, electricity, where farmers' income would have doubled. Youth and women would get ample opportunity to fulfill their dreams. An India free from terrorism, communalism, casteism, corruption, and nepotism. State of the economy. Madam Speaker, the last 5 years have seen India being universally recognized as a bright spot of the global economy. The country witnessed its best phase of macroeconomic stability during this period. We are the fastest growing major economy in the world today, with an average GDP growth higher during the last 5 years, higher than the growth achieved by any government since economic reforms began. From being the 11th largest economy in the world in 2013-14, we are today the 6th largest in the world. Besides generating high growth rate, we contained double-digit inflation and restored fiscal balance. Inflation is a hidden tax and an unfair tax on the poor and the middle class. The average rate of inflation during 2009-2014 was a back-breaking 10.1%. The then Prime Minister admitted as much when he said, and I quote, "We have also not been as successful in controlling persistent inflation as we would have wished. This is primarily because food inflation has increased," unquote. इसके विपरीत हमारी सरकार ने कमर तोड़ महंगाई की कमर ही तोड़ दी. We brought down average inflation to 4.6%, which is lower than the inflation during the tenure of any other government. In fact, inflation in December 2018, महंगाई दिसंबर 2018 में सिर्फ 2.19% पर घटकर आ गई. If we had not controlled inflation, our families would have been spending 35 to 40% more today on basic necessities such as food, travel, consumer durables, housing. आप कल्पना करिए 35-40% अधिक खर्चा होता हर परिवार का अगर हमने इस महंगाई पे लगाम नहीं लगाई होती. From the high of almost 6% 7 years ago, the fiscal deficit has been brought down to 3.4% in the revised estimate of 2018-19. The current account deficit against a high of 5.6% 6 years ago is likely to be only 2.5% of GDP this year. We contained the fiscal deficit, notwithstanding the Finance Commission's recommendations, increasing the share of the states from 32% to 42% in central taxes, which we accepted in the true spirit of cooperative federalism, thereby transferring significantly higher amounts to the states. Due to a stable and predictable regulatory regime, a growing economy, and strong fundamentals, India could attract massive amount of foreign direct investment during the last 5 years. As much as $239 billion was received as FDI. This period also witnessed a rapid liberalization of the FDI policy, allowing most FDI to come through the automatic route. Madam Speaker, the last 5 years have witnessed a wave of next-generation structural reforms which have set the stage for decades of high growth. We have undertaken path-breaking structural reforms by introducing the goods and services tax and other taxation reforms. Banking reforms and insolvency and bankruptcy code. The period of 2008 to 14 will be remembered as a period of aggressive credit growth. And as per RBI, the primary reason for a spurt in non-performing loans and stressed assets. Outstanding loans of public sector banks ballooned from 18 lakh crore to 52 lakh crore during this period. Many projects were started that could either not be completed or had low capacity utilization, resulting in their inability to pay back these loans. They were high stressed and non-performing assets amounting to rupees 5.4 lakh crore in 2014, even though they were not being recognized as NPA at that point of time. Many more were hidden through restructuring or otherwise, which were discovered during the asset quality reviews and inspections carried out since 2015. हमारे सरकार में ये दम था कि हम रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया को कहें कि ये सभी लोन्स को देखें और बैंकों की सही स्थिति देश के सामने रखें. We put a stop to such questionable practices and stopped the culture of phone banking. The 4 R's approach of recognition, resolution, recapitalization and reforms have been followed. A number of measures have been implemented to ensure clean banking. Through a transparent and accountable process, we recognize these NPAs. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code has institutionalized a resolution-friendly mechanism which is helping in recovery of non-performing loans while preserving the underlying businesses and jobs. पहले सिर्फ छोटे बिजनेसमैन पर ऋण वापस करने का दबाव रहता था और अब बड़े बिजनेसमैन को भी ऋण की चिंता होती है, केवल बैंक को नहीं होती. But now defaulting managements are either paying or exiting their businesses. An amount of close to 3 lakh crores has already been recovered in favor of banks and creditors. To restore the health of public sector banks, recapitalization has been done with an investment of 2.6 lakh crore rupees. Amalgamation of banks has also been done to reap the benefits of economies of scale, improved access to capital, and to cover a larger geographical spread. हाल ही में कल हम सबको खुशखबरी मिली कि इन सब अथक प्रयासों के कारण 3 बैंक, बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, बैंक ऑफ महाराष्ट्र एंड ओरिएंटल बैंक ऑफ कॉमर्स, इन तीनों से पीसीए की रिस्ट्रिक्शंस भी अब हटा दी गई हैं। और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है जिस गति से बैंकिंग में सुधार हुआ है, बाकी सब बैंक्स भी बहुत तेज गति से इस व्यवस्था से निकल के फिर एक बार जोर से तेजी से बैंकिंग व्यवस्था में आ जाएंगे। स्टेप्स अगेंस्ट करप्शन, वी हैव ushered in a new era of transparency. हमने भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त सरकार चलाई। The Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016, RERA, and Benami Transaction Prohibition Act are helping to bring transparency in the real estate sector. The Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018 will help confiscate and dispose of the assets of economic offenders who escape the jurisdiction of the laws in India. Additionally, we conducted transparent auction of natural resources, including coal and spectrum. We have walked the talk. Swachhata, as a tribute to Mahatma Gandhi, whose 150th birth anniversary we are celebrating in 2019, our government initiated the world's largest behavioral change movement with the Swachh Bharat Mission. India has achieved over 98% rural sanitation coverage, and as many as 5,45,000 villages have been declared open defecation free. It is a holistic program and has succeeded in changing the mindset of our people. व्यापक जन भागीदारी से लोगों ने इसे एक सरकारी योजना से राष्ट्रीय आंदोलन बना दिया है। स्वच्छ भारत अभियान की सफलता के लिए मैं देश की 130 करोड़ जनता का तहे दिल से धन्यवाद करता हूं, जिन्होंने इसे पूरे हृदय से अपनाया। गरीब और पिछड़ा वर्ग, देश के संसाधनों पर पहला अधिकार गरीबों का है। सरकार ने मौजूदा आरक्षण जो कि एससी, एसटी, अन्य पिछड़े वर्ग के लिए है, उसको पूरी तरीके से पूर्ण रूप से बरकरार रखते हुए गरीबों के लिए भी अब शैक्षणिक संस्थानों में और सरकारी नौकरियों में 10% का आरक्षण सुनिश्चित किया है। इन संस्थानों में औसतन 25% अतिरिक्त सीट्स, लगभग 2 लाख सीट्स उपलब्ध कराई जाएंगी, जिससे किसी भी वर्ग के लिए वर्तमान में उपलब्ध आरक्षित सीट्स में कोई कभी कमी न आए। गरीबों और मध्यम वर्ग के परिवारों को सस्ते दाम पर अनाज उपलब्ध कराने के लिए वर्ष 2018-19 में लगभग 1,70,000 करोड़ रुपए का व्यय किया गया, जो वर्ष 2013-14 के खर्च के मुकाबले लगभग 2 गुना है। 13-14 में मात्र 92 करोड़ रुपए लगभग खर्च हुए थे। हमने यह सुनिश्चित किया कि अनाज सबको मिले और किसी को भूखे पेट नहीं सोना पड़े। मनरेगा के लिए भी बजट एस्टिमेट 2019-20 में 60,000 करोड़ का आवंटन किया जा रहा है। जरूरत पड़ने पर और भी धनराशि उपलब्ध करा दी जाएगी। We have worked to bridge the urban-rural divide in the country. Honorable members in this august house, many of whom are from rural areas, will agree that several times in the past, only empty promises have been made to the people living in our villages. During the last 5 years, we have undertaken targeted expenditure to improve their quality of life in all its dimensions. हमारा उद्देश्य है कि गांव की आत्मा बरकरार रखते हुए वहां भी शहरों जैसी सुविधाएं उपलब्ध हो। Under the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, construction of rural roads has been tripled. 3 guna. 15,80,000 habitations out of a total of 17,84,000 habitations have already been connected with Pakka roads, and the work is going on to complete the rest very, very soon. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana is being allocated 19,000 crore rupees in budget estimate 1920 as against 15,500 in revised estimate 2018-19. जहां पहले एक गरीब बच्चा टूटी पगडंडी पर चलकर स्कूल पहुंचता था, आज उसके गांव तक बस पहुंच सकती है। During the period 2014-18, a total number of 1,53,000, 1,53,000 घर प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना के तहत हमने इस देश में मात्र 5 वर्ष में बनाए, जो पहले के मुकाबले 5 गुना है। 1,53,00,000 घर बनाए, जो 5 गुना है पहले के निस्बत। वर्ष 2014 तक देश में लगभग 2.5 करोड़ परिवार बिना बिजली के थे। 18वीं सदी में जीने के लिए मजबूर थे। सौभाग्य योजना से हमने लगभग हर घर को बिजली का मुफ्त कनेक्शन उपलब्ध कराया। मार्च 2019 तक सभी इच्छुक परिवारों को बिजली का कनेक्शन मिल जाएगा। हमने मिशन मोड में निजी क्षेत्र सम्मिलित करते हुए 143 करोड़ एलईडी बल्ब उपलब्ध कराए हैं, 143 करोड़। इससे गरीब और मध्यम वर्ग के परिवारों को बिजली के बिलों में सालाना लगभग 50,000 करोड़ की बचत हो जाएगी। Madam Speaker, past 5 years have seen massive scale up of healthcare. पहले एक गरीब व्यक्ति इस धर्म संकट में होता था कि वह रोजमर्रा की जरूरतों पूरी करे या परिवार के किसी बीमार सदस्य की जिंदगी बचाए। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को इस बात की बहुत पीड़ा थी। We launched the world's largest healthcare program. Ayushman Bharat, to provide medical treatment to nearly 50 crore people. अब तक 10 लाख बीमारों लोगों की इलाज इसके तहत इतने कम समय में हो चुकी है और लगभग 3,000 करोड़ रुपए ऐसे गरीब और मध्यम वर्गीय परिवारों के बचे हैं जो ये 10 लाख लोगों को इलाज मिला मुफ्त में। लाखों गरीब मध्यम वर्गीयों को इस बात का भी बड़ा लाभ हो रहा है, जो कीमतें कम हुई दवाइयों में, कार्डियक स्टेंट में, नी इम्प्लांट्स में, और आज दवाइयाँ प्रधानमंत्री जन औषधि केंद्र में बहुत ही सस्ते दरों पे मिल जाती है। इससे लाखों करोड़ों लोगों को लाभ मिलता है। There are 21 AIIMS operating or being established in the country presently. 14 of these 21 AIIMS have been announced since 2014. 2/3 हमने इस सरकार आने के बाद शुरू किया। आज मुझे खुशी है आप सबको बताते हुए कि जो 22वां एम्स है, अब मेरे राज्य में जहां मेरा परिवार जहां से आता है, हरियाणा में अब 22वां एम्स लगने जा रहा है। और शायद वहाँ की जनता ने जिस प्रकार से सरकार का आकलन करते हुए कल जीत दी, इस बात का भी प्रमाण है कि अच्छी सरकार कैसे दी जाती है। The Aspirational Districts program is providing targeted development to the 115 most backward districts of the country. The program has achieved notable results. with improved performance on all indicators, health and nutrition, education, agriculture and water resources, financial inclusion and skill development. ये एस्पिरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स प्रोग्राम में आज कंपटीशन के द्वारा ये सब डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स तेज गति से विकास से जुड़ रही है, सब सरकारी योजना वहां पहुंच रही है। किसानों की उन्नति एवं आय वृद्धि। मैडम स्पीकर, हमारे मेहनती किसानों को फसल का पूरा मूल्य नहीं मिलता था। हमारी सरकार ने किसानों की आय दुगुनी करने हेतु इतिहास में पहली बार सभी 22 फसलों का न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य एमएसपी लागत से कम 50% अधिक निर्धारित किया। Agriculture continues to be the main driver of the rural economy. Our hardworking farmers, supported by the pro-farmer policies of our government in the past 4.5 years, have produced agriculture commodities in record quantities. Declining prices of agricultural commodities in the international market and fall in food inflation in India since the last 2 years relative to the non-food sector have, however, reduced the returns from farming. Small and fragmented landholding on account of repeated divisions has also contributed in decline in the income of the farmer family. Hence, there is a need for providing structured income support to the poor landholder farmer families in the country for procuring inputs such as seeds, fertilizers, equipment, labor, and to meet other needs. Such support will help them in avoiding indebtedness as well and falling into the clutches of money lenders. To provide an assured income support to the small and marginal farmers, छोटे और सीमांत जो किसान हैं, उनको एक प्रकार से उनकी आय में और तेज गति से बढ़े और एक समर्थन देने के हेतु प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि पीएम किसान नाम की एक ऐतिहासिक योजना इस सरकार ने मंजूरी की है। पीएम किसान इस योजना के तहत जो वल्नरेबल किसान हैं, जो छोटी जमीन रखते हैं, 2 हेक्टेयर तक की जिनकी जमीन है, 2 हेक्टेयर तक की जमीन को, उन सभी को सीधा उनके इनकम में सपोर्ट, डायरेक्ट इनकम सपोर्ट 6,000 रुपए प्रति वर्ष के हिसाब से देने का निर्णय सरकार ने किया है। This income support will be transferred. This income support will be transferred directly into the bank accounts of beneficiary farmers in 3 equal installments of rupees 2,000 each. This program will be funded 100% by the Government of India. करीब 12 करोड़ किसान परिवारों का इससे सीधा लाभ मिलेगा। ये प्रोग्राम 1 दिसंबर 2018 से ही लागू किया जाएगा और पहली किश्त 2,000 रुपए की जल्द ही सूचियां बना के उनके खाते में भेजी जाएगी। कार्यक्रम का अनुमानित खर्चा 75,000 करोड़ रुपए सालाना सरकार भरेगी। PM Kisan would not only provide assured supplemental income to the most vulnerable farmer families, but would also meet their emergent needs, especially before the harvest season. PM Kisan would pave the way for the farmers to earn and live a respectable living. I propose an outlay of rupees 75,000 crore for PM Kisan for the financial year 1920. I am also providing 20,000 crores in the revised estimates of the current year itself. पिछले 5 वर्षों में किसानों को सस्ते ऋण उपलब्ध कराने के लिए इंटरेस्ट सबवेंशन की राशि को 2 गुना कर दिया गया। किसानों का फसली कर्ज बढ़कर वर्ष 2018-19 में 11,68,000 करोड़ रुपए हो गया है। 11.68 लाख करोड़ 11,68,000 करोड़ रुपए किसानों का ऋण बढ़ गया है। सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड्स, उत्तम क्वालिटी बीज, सिंचाई योजना और नीम कोटेड यूरिया द्वारा खाद की कमी को दूर करे, किसानों की कठिनाइयों को दूर करने का प्रभावी प्रयास इस सरकार ने 5 वर्षों में किया है। Animal husbandry and fisheries sector also need considerable support. I have increased the allocation for Rashtriya Gokul Mission to 750 crores in the current year itself. I am also very happy, Madam Speaker, to announce the setting up of Rashtriya Kamdhenu Ayog to upscale sustainable genetic upgradation of cow resources and to enhance production and productivity of cows. The Ayog will also look after effective implementation of laws and welfare schemes for cows. गौ माता के सम्मान में और गौ माता के लिए इस सरकार कभी पीछे नहीं हटेगी, जो जरूरत पड़ेगी उसको प्रावधान करेगी। India is the second largest fish producing nation in the world, accounting for 6.3% of global production, registering an average annual growth of more than 7% in recent years. The sector provides livelihood to about 1.45 crore people at the primary level. To provide sustained and focused attention towards development of this sector, our government has decided to create a separate department of fisheries. In the last budget, our government announced the facility of extension of Kisan Credit Card Scheme to animal husbandry and fishery farmers. Now, I propose to provide the benefit of 2% interest subvention to the farmers pursuing the activities of animal husbandry and fisheries. 2% ब्याज की छूट इस क्षेत्र को भी दी जाती है, who avail loan through Kisan Credit Card. Further, in case of timely repayment of loan, they will also get an additional 3% interest subvention. एक प्रकार से इनको किसानों के साथ सम्मान के साथ एक ही दर्जा दिया जा रहा है. To ensure provision of easy and concessional credit and to bring all farmers under the Kisan Credit Card fold, our government has decided to initiate a comprehensive drive with a simplified application form. When natural calamities strike, farmers are generally unable to repay their crop loans. Presently, the crop loans are rescheduled for such affected farmers, and they get the benefit of interest subvention of 2% only for the first year of rescheduled loans. Our government has now decided that all farmers affected by severe natural calamities, where assistance is provided from the National Disaster Relief Fund, will be provided the benefit of interest subvention of 2% and prompt repayment incentive of 3% for the entire period of reschedulement of the loan. एक वर्ष के बदले पूरा जो समय रिशेड्यूलमेंट का है, पूरे समय उनको 2% और समय पे नए समय पे वापस देने पे 3% और यानी 5% ब्याज में उनको छूट मिलेगी। मजदूर और कामगार की प्रतिष्ठा। मैडम स्पीकर, हमारी सरकार का यह दृढ़ विश्वास रहा है कि तेजी से बढ़ती हुई अर्थव्यवस्था का लाभ कामगारों और सरकारी सेवाओं में कार्यरत सभी लोगों को मिलना चाहिए। पिछले 5 वर्षों में भारत में औद्योगिक शांति का माहौल रहा है। हाई ग्रोथ एंड फॉर्मलाइजेशन ऑफ द इकोनॉमी has led to the expansion of employment opportunities as shown in EPFO membership, which has increased by nearly 2 crore in 2 years, reflecting formalization of the economy. And obviously, when there is such high growth, jobs are created. 7वें केंद्रीय वेतन आयोग की रिपोर्ट पेश होने के बाद उसकी सिफारिशों को जल्द से जल्द लागू किया गया। उनको कोई आंदोलन नहीं करना पड़ा, सरकार ने तुरंत लागू किया 7वें वित्त आयोग को। न्यू पेंशन स्कीम को और लिबरलाइज किया गया है। कर्मचारियों के हिस्से को 10% रखते हुए हमने सरकार के योगदान को 4% बढ़ाकर 14 कर दिया है। 14% सरकारी योगदान। श्रमिकों के दिए जाने वाले बोनस आकलन की अधिकतम सीमा को भी 3,500 प्रति माह से बढ़ाकर दोगुनी कर गई। 7,000 व वेतन की अधिकतम सीमा को बढ़ाकर 10,000 से 21,000 प्रति माह कर दिया गया। जो लोग 21,000 तक प्रति माह कमाते हैं उनको बोनस मिलेगा और दुगना 7,000 तक बोनस देने का हमने निर्णय सरकार ने लिया है। ग्रेच्युटी के भुगतान की सीमा को 10 लाख से बढ़ाकर 20 लाख रुपए कर दी गई। पिछले 5 वर्षों के दौरान सभी श्रेणी के श्रमिकों के न्यूनतम वेतन में 42% की वृद्धि हुई, जो आज तक सर्वाधिक है। इसी प्रकार से ESI के एलिजिबिलिटी कवर की सीमा भी 15,000 प्रति माह से बढ़ाकर 21,000 प्रति माह कर दी गई है। प्रत्येक श्रमिक के लिए न्यूनतम पेंशन भी अब 1,000 रुपए है। सर्विस के दौरान किसी श्रमिक की मृत्यु होने की स्थिति में EPFO द्वारा राशि 2.5 लाख से बढ़ाकर 6 लाख रुपए सुनिश्चित की गई। आंगनवाड़ी और आशा योजना के तहत सभी श्रेणियों के कर्मिकों, हमारी माता बहनों को मानदेय में लगभग 50% की वृद्धि की गई। Half of India's GDP comes from the sweat and toil of 42 crore workers in the unorganized sector, working as street vendors, rickshaw pullers, construction workers, rag pickers, agricultural workers, BD workers, handloom, leather, numerous other industries. घरेलू कामगार भी बड़ी संख्या में काम कर रहे हैं। We must provide them a comprehensive social security coverage for their old age. Therefore, in addition to the health coverage provided under Ayushman Bharat and life and disability coverage provided under Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana and Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, our government proposes to launch a mega pension yojana, namely Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan. Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan will be for the organized sector workers with monthly income up to rupees 15,000. This pension yojana shall provide them an assured monthly pension of rupees 3,000 after they achieve the age of 60 years. On a monthly contribution of a small affordable amount during their working age. An unorganized sector worker joining the pension yojana at the age of 29 years will only have to contribute 100 rupees per month till he attains the age of 60 years. A worker joining the pension yojana at 18 years of age will only have to contribute 55 rupees per month. सरकार इतना ही पैसा अपनी तरफ से उसमें जोड़ेगी. The government will contribute an equal matching share in the pension account of the worker every month. हमारा अनुमान है कि कम से कम 10 करोड़ अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड सेक्टर के कर्मचारी, लेबरर, वर्कर सबको प्रधानमंत्री श्रम योगी मानधन का लाभ मिलेगा और अगले 5 साल में शायद ये विश्व की सबसे बड़ी पेंशन स्कीम के रूप में उभर जाएगा. इसके लिए भी इसी साल हमने स्कीम को लॉन्च कर दिया है और 500 करोड़ रुपए इस स्कीम में जरूरत पड़ने पर हम देने के लिए तैयार हैं. और अधिक राशि लगेगी तो और अधिक राशि भी इसके लिए उपलब्ध करवाई जाएगी. The scheme will also be implemented, as I said, from the current year itself. Our government is committed to reach the most deprived citizens of this country. To this end, the condition of the denotified, nomadic and semi-nomadic communities, जो विमुक्त हैं, घुमांतु हैं, अर्ध घुमांतु समुदाय हैं, उनके लिए एक विशेष इस बार सरकार ने उसके ऊपर विशेष ध्यान दिया है. These communities are hard to reach, less visible, and therefore frequently left out. The nomadic and semi-nomadic communities move from place to place in search of a livelihood. The Renke Commission and the Idate Commission have done commendable work to identify and list these communities. A committee under Niti Aayog will be set up to complete the task of identifying denotified, nomadic, and semi-nomadic communities not yet formally classified. Our government will also set up a welfare development board under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, especially for the purpose of implementing welfare and development programs for denotified, nomadic and semi-nomadic communities. The board shall ensure that special strategies are designed and implemented to serve these hard-to-reach communities. ये बोर्ड जो बनाया जा रहा है, वेलफेयर डेवलपमेंट बोर्ड, ये एक प्रकार से समुचित विकास कैसे हो इस वर्ग का, उसकी चिंता करेगा और इन सभी योजनाओं को इम्प्लीमेंट करने में उन तक लाभ पहुंचाने का काम करेगा. वुमेन्स डेवलपमेंट टू वुमेन-लेड डेवलपमेंट, वुमेन्स डेवलपमेंट to women-led development. Madam Speaker, in our election manifesto, we had promised that we will transform the quality of life of women in rural India by providing cleaner fuel, for securing the health of every homemaker in rural areas, and to ensure that she does not have to shed tears for cooking food to nourish her family. Our government embarked upon a program to deliver 8 crore free LPG connections under the Ujjwala Yojana. इसके अंतर्गत अभी तक 6 करोड़ मुफ्त कुकिंग गैस कनेक्शन दे जा चुके हैं. अगले वर्ष तक पूरे 8 करोड़ हो जाएंगे और देश में हर परिवार को अच्छी कुकिंग की सुविधा उपलब्ध कराने का जो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का दृढ़ निश्चय था, उसको हम पूरी तरीके से लागू कर देंगे. Ujjwala is a remarkable success story of our government's program, defined by a bold yet practical vision of a responsible and compassionate leadership. More than 70% of the beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana are women who are getting affordable and collateral-free loans to start their own businesses. Amongst many measures, benefits of maternity leave of 26 weeks and Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana for pregnant women have provided financial support to women while empowering them to participate in work. empowering youth to fulfill their potential. India is amongst the most youthful nations in the world. Through Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, over 1 crore youth are being trained to help them earn a livelihood. We have harnessed Yuva Shakti through self-employment schemes, including Mudra, Startup India and Stand Up India. Under Mudra Yojana, 15.56 crore loans have been disbursed, amounting to 7,23,000 crore rupees. पूरी दुनिया में स्वयं रोजगार की कल्पना अब बदल रही है और रोजगार की भी कल्पना बदल रही है। अब सिर्फ सरकारी नौकरियां और कारखाने में ही रोजगार उत्पन्न नहीं होता है। जॉब सीकर आज जॉब क्रिएटर बन गया है। India has become the second largest hub of startups. We are proud of the hard work and innovative ideas of our youth. In order to take the benefits of artificial intelligence and related technologies to the people, a national program on artificial intelligence has been envisaged by our government. This would be catalyzed by the establishment of the National Center on Artificial Intelligence as a hub along with centers of excellence. 9 priority areas have been identified. A national artificial intelligence portal will be developed soon. Empowering MSMEs and traders. सरकार ने करोड़ों को रोजगार देने वाले MSME सेक्टर को सशक्त करने के लिए कई प्रभावी कदम उठाए हैं। हाल ही में सिर्फ 59 मिनट्स में 1 करोड़ तक के ऋण की योजना शुरू की गई। जीएसटी रजिस्टर्ड एसएमई इकाइयों को 1 करोड़ के इंक्रीमेंटल लोन पर अब 2% ब्याज की छूट मिलेगी। सरकारी उपक्रमों में एसएमई से सोर्सिंग की आवश्यकता को बढ़ाकर 25% कर दिया गया है। Out of this, the material to the extent of at least 3% will be sourced from women-owned SMEs. Government e-marketplace, GEM, created by our government 2 years ago, has transformed public procurement by making it fully transparent, inclusive, and efficient. MSMEs have an opportunity to sell their products through GEM. Transactions of over 17,500 crore rupees have already taken place, resulting in an average saving of 25 to 28% when purchased from GEM. The GEM platform is now being extended to all central public sector enterprises. We have focused on supporting domestic trade and services. Our government has recently assigned the subject of promotion of internal trade, including retail trading and welfare of traders and their employees, to the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, which will now be renamed as the Department for Promotion of Industries and Internal Trade. Strengthening defense and national security. Madam Speaker, our soldiers protect our borders in tough conditions. They are our pride and honor. हमने भी उनके सम्मान का ख्याल रखा. In our election manifesto, we had promised to implement one rank, one pension. This was pending for the last 40 years, but has been resolved by us. Madam Speaker, previous governments announced it in 3 budgets, but sanctioned a mere 500 crore rupees in the interim budget of 2014-15. In contrast, we have already disbursed over 35,000 crore rupees after implementing the scheme in true spirit. 35,000 crore रुपए सरकार ने पिछले वर्षों में हमारे जवानों के लिए दिए हैं वन रैंक वन पेंशन के तहत. The government has also announced substantial hike in the military service pay of all service personnel and special allowances given to naval and air force personnel deployed in high-risk areas. Our defense budget, Madam Speaker, ये हम सबके लिए खुशी की बात है कि इस वर्ष पहली बार हमारा डिफेंस बजट 3 लाख करोड़ से बढ़ के 2019-20 में प्रावधान किया गया है. For securing our borders and to maintain preparedness of the highest order, if necessary, additional funds will also be provided. Supporting Indians across the world. Today, all persons of Indian origin feel secure that their motherland Bharat cares for them and at times of need will support them. India's transformation has inculcated a sense of pride and respect for Indians and persons of Indian origin across the globe. We have taken several initiatives to strengthen their connect with India, facilitate their investment in India, and ease their travel. Infrastructure development. Infrastructure is the backbone of any nation's development and quality of life. Whether it is highways or railways or airways or even digiways, we have gone beyond incremental growth to attain transformative achievements. आज एक सामान्य नागरिक भी उड़ान योजना के कारण हवाई जहाज में सफर कर पा रहा है. अब 100 से अधिक एयरपोर्ट हो गए हैं. सिक्किम में पाक्योंग एयरपोर्ट खुलने के बाद 100 से अधिक एयरपोर्ट इस देश में हो गए हैं, ऑपरेशनल एयरपोर्ट्स. डोमेस्टिक पैसेंजर ट्रैफिक दुगना हुआ है पिछले 5 वर्षों में, दुगना. और क्या जब इतनी तेज गति से विकास होगा तो स्वाभाविक रूप से नौकरियां भी आएंगी और एविएशन सेक्टर में बड़े रूप में युवा युवतियों को नौकरियों का साधन मिला है. टुडे इंडिया इज द फास्टेस्ट हाईवे डेवलपर इन द होल वर्ल्ड. With 27 kilometers of highways built each day, projects stuck for decades like the Eastern Peripheral Highway around Delhi or the Bogibeel Rail-cum Road Bridge in Assam and Arunachal Pradesh have been completed. The flagship program of Sagarmala along the coastal areas of the country will develop ports for faster handling of import and export cargo. For the first time, container freight movement has started on inland waterways from Kolkata to Varanasi. Our government will introduce container cargo movement to the northeast as well by improving the navigation capacity of the Brahmaputra River. Indian Railways has experienced the safest year in its history. All unmanned level crossings, आप सब गौर करिए, all unmanned level crossings on broad gauge network have been completely eliminated. आज पूरे देश में एक भी अनमैन्ड लेवल क्रॉसिंग ब्रॉडगेज नेटवर्क पे बचा नहीं है. Introduction of the first indigenously developed and manufactured semi-high-speed Vande Bharat Express will give the Indian passengers world-class experience with speed, service and safety. This major leap in wholly developed technology by our engineers will give an impetus to the Make in India program and create jobs. Capital support from the budget for railways is proposed at rupees 64,587 crore in 1920 budget estimate. In fact, the railways overall capital expenditure program is a historic 1,58,658 crore. The operating ratio is also expected to improve from 98.4% in 17-18 to to 96.2% in 18-19 revised estimate, and further to 95% in the budget estimate of 2019-20. India provided leadership to the global effort to address the problem of climate change. Our commitment to promote renewable energy is reflected in setting up the International Solar Alliance, the first treaty-based international intergovernmental organization headquartered in India. India's installed solar generation capacity has grown 10 times in the last 5 years. 10 गुना वृद्धि हुई है सौर्य ऊर्जा में देश में पिछले 5 वर्षों में. This sector is now creating lakhs of new age jobs. India's import dependence on crude oil and natural gas has been a source of big concern to our government. While we have taken a large number of measures to moderate the increasing demand through usage of biofuel and alternate technologies, urgent action is needed to increase hydrocarbon production to reduce imports. A high-level interministerial committee constituted by us has made several specific recommendations, including transforming the system of bidding for exploration, changing from revenue sharing to exploration program for category 2 and 3 basins. The government is in the process of implementing these recommendations. The people of Northeast have also received significant benefits of infrastructure development. Arunachal Pradesh came on the air map recently, and Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram have come on India's rail map for the first time. Allocation for the northeastern areas is being proposed to be increased by 21% to rupees 58,166 crore over 2018-19 budget estimates. Digital India Revolution. Madam Speaker, India is now leading the world in the consumption of mobile data. Monthly consumption of mobile data increased by over 50 times, 50 गुना. पिछले 5 वर्षों में मोबाइल डेटा 50 गुना बढ़ा. The cost of data and voice calls in India is now possibly the lowest in the world. Today, under Make in India, mobile and mobile part manufacturing companies have increased from 2 to more than 268, providing huge job opportunities. More than 3 lakh common service centers employing about 12 lakh people are digitally delivering several services to the citizens, particularly in rural areas. The common service centers are expanding their services and also creating digital infrastructure in the villages, including connectivity to convert the villages into digital villages now. हमारी सरकार की योजना है कि अगले 5 वर्षों में हम 1 लाख डिजिटल विलेजेस बनाने जाएंगे. Jan-Dhan, Aadhaar, mobile and direct benefit transfer have been game changers. Bank nationalization was first done 50 years ago, but a large part of the country was left out of the economic mainstream with no access to formal banking. In the last 5 years, nearly 34 crore Jan-Dhan bank accounts were opened. Aadhaar is now near universally implemented. This has helped ensure the poor and middle class receive the benefits of government schemes directly in their bank's account by eliminating middlemen. बिचौलियों को हमने समाप्त किया. Entertainment industry is a major employment generator. To promote entertainment industry, single window clearance for ease of shooting films, earlier available only to foreigners, is now going to be made available to Indian filmmakers as well. Regulatory provisions will rely more on self-declaration. We will also introduce anti-camcording provisions in the Cinematograph Act to control the menace of piracy. हम सबको पिक्चर बॉलीवुड का भी शौक रहता है, पिक्चरें भी देखते हैं, और ये इतने बड़े रूप में रोजगार का अवसर प्रदान करता है। भारत में अन्य क्षेत्रों में फिल्म बनाने का काम बहुत बड़े गति से चल रहा है, तो उन सबको रोजगार मिलेगा, चाहे वो तेलुगु में फिल्म बने, चाहे मलयालम में बने। अभी हाल में आप सबने शायद देखी हो, मेरे को तो उरी पिक्चर देखने का सौभाग्य मिला। जो मजा आया, जो जोश था उस हॉल के अंदर, simplification of direct tax system to benefit taxpayers. Madam Speaker, for making the life of our direct taxpayers easy, we reduced tax rates more for the common man and middle class and made the interface with the tax department much simpler and largely faceless. Due to this, the tax collections increased significantly from rupees 6,38,000 crore in 2013-14 to almost 12 lakh crore rupees this year. The number of returns filed have also increased from 3.79 crore to 6.85 crore, showing 80% growth in tax base. I thank the honest taxpayers of India for reposing faith in our government. Let me assure them that we have used their contribution to serve the poor and create better infrastructure. The Income Tax Department now functions online. Returns, assessments, refunds, and queries are all undertaken online. Last year, 99.54% of all returns, इंडिविजुअल के हो, व्यापारी के हो, उद्योग के हो, सभी रिटर्न्स का 99.54%, 99.54% रिटर्न्स को एक्सेप्ट कर दिया गया जैसे फाइल हुए, बिना कोई स्क्रूटनी, बिना कोई अधिक कार्रवाई। Our government has now approved a path-breaking technology-intensive project to transform the income tax department into a more assessee-friendly one. All returns will be processed in 24 hours and refunds issued simultaneously. Within the next 2 years, और ये बहुत important बात है, within the next 2 years, almost all verification and assessment of returns selected for scrutiny also will be done electronically through an anonymized back office manned by tax experts and officials without any personal interface between the taxpayer and the tax officer. आगे चल के स्क्रूटनी के लिए भी आपको दफ्तर नहीं जाना पड़ेगा, और किसका स्क्रूटनी हो रही है और कौन अफसर है, ये दोनों को एक दूसरे का परिचय नहीं मालूम पड़ेगा, वो कंप्यूटर के थ्रू एनोनिमाइज हो जाए। Reducing the tax burden on the middle class. Reducing the tax burden on the middle class has always been our priority ever since our government took office in 2014. We increased the basic exemption limit from 2 lakh to 2.5 lakh and gave tax rebate so that no tax was payable by persons having income up to rupees 3 lakhs. We also reduced the tax rate from 10% to 5% for the tax slab from 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh and introduced standard deduction of rupees 40,000 for the salaried class. Deduction of savings under section 80C was increased from 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh. Deduction of interest for self-occupied house property was raised from 1.5 lakh to 2 lakh. इतने सारे प्रभावी कदम उठाए गए जिससे लगातार हर वर्ष मध्यम वर्गीय और खासतौर पे जो वेतन पाते हैं उन सबको लगातार कुछ ना कुछ लाभ देने के प्रयत्न इस सरकार ने पिछले 4 साल में 4.5 साल में लगातार किए हैं. Special benefits and incentives were also given to small businesses and startups. Overall compliance processes were simplified. Threshold limit for presumptive taxation of business was raised from 1 crore to 2 crores. The benefit of presumptive taxation was extended for the first time to small professionals having threshold limit of 50 lakh rupees. In order to promote a less cash economy, the presumptive profit rate has been reduced from 8% to 6%. The tax rate for companies with turnover of up to rupees 250 crore, और ये लगभग 99% कंपनियां इसमें आ जाती हैं. 250 करोड़ तक के जो टर्नओवर की कंपनियां हैं, 99% कंपनियां इसके अंतर्गत आ जाती हैं. इनका भी टैक्स रेट 30 से घटा के 25% सरकार ने पिछले वर्षों में कर दिया. We have also made this 25% applicable to new manufacturing companies without any turnover limit. नए उद्योग को प्रोत्साहन देने के लिए बिना लिमिट 25% ही सिर्फ इनकम टैक्स रखते हैं. GST reform for benefit to consumers and businesses. The goods and services tax reforms lingered on during the previous government for almost a decade. Our government implemented the GST, which is undoubtedly the biggest taxation reform undertaken since independence. 70 different taxes levied by the central and state and union territory governments were, with cascading effect of tax on tax, were consolidated into one GST. India became one common market. GST has resulted in increased tax base, higher collections, and ease of trade. This will reduce the interface between the taxpayer and the government for day-to-day operations and assessments. Now, returns are fully online and e-way bill system is in place. Interstate movements have become faster, more efficient, hassle-free, with no entry tax, check post, truck use. ये सब इतिहास के पन्नों में चले गए. अब आसानी से व्यापार हो सकता है अलग-अलग राज्यों के बीच में. The high taxation levied on multiple commodities in the pre-GST regime has been rationalized, and the burden on the consumer, especially the poor and the middle class, has been significantly reduced. आप सभी जानते हैं कि जीएसटी काउंसिल में केंद्र सरकार है और सभी राज्यों की और यूनियन टेरिटरी की सरकार मिलके जीएसटी काउंसिल में एक साथ मिलके सब सर्वसम्मति से निर्णय लेती हैं. इस जीएसटी काउंसिल ने अलग-अलग रेट्स, पुराने के रेट्स को देखते हुए अलग-अलग रेट्स निर्धारित किए थे और लगभग सभी रेट ऐसे निर्धारित करने की कोशिश की कि जो प्री जीएसटी रेट से कम थे. Since then, GST has been continuously reduced, providing relief of further 80,000 crore annually to the customers, to the consumers. Most items of daily use of the poor and middle class are now in the 0 to 5% tax slab. अब उरी देखने के बाद कुछ तो सिनेमा हॉल्स के प्रति भी और सिनेमा देखने वाले सभी जनता के प्रति संवेदना की भावना स्वाभाविक रूप से आती है. सिनेमा गोअर्स जिनको अलग-अलग टैक्स के रेट्स होते थे और कई राज्यों में तो 50% से अधिक टैक्स लगता था, अब साधारणतः अधिकांश जो सिनेमा हॉल्स हैं उसमें मात्र 12% जीएसटी लगता है. Our government wants the GST burden on home buyers. जो घर खरीदते हैं उनके ऊपर भी जीएसटी का बर्डन कम होना चाहिए. उसके हिसाब से हमने जीएसटी काउंसिल को रिक्वेस्ट करके एक ग्रुप ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स तय किए और वो ग्रुप ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स अब पूरी तरीके से देख रहे हैं कि जो घर खरीदने वाले हैं उनका टैक्स का बर्डन कैसे कम किया जाए. उनके रिकमेंडेशंस आएंगे तो उस पर जीएसटी काउंसिल उचित निर्णय लेगा. GST aims to benefit small traders, manufacturers, and service providers. Exemptions from GST for small businesses have been doubled from 20 lakh to 40 lakhs. Further, small businesses having turnover up to 1.5 crore have been given an attractive composition scheme wherein they pay only 1% flat rate and have to file only one annual return. Similarly, small service providers with turnover up to 50 lakhs can now opt for composition scheme and pay GST at 6% only instead of 18%. More than 35 lakh small traders, manufacturers, and service providers will benefit from these trader-friendly measures. Soon, businesses comprising over 90% of GST payers will be allowed to file quarterly return. जिसकी भी टोटल टर्नओवर 5 करोड़ से कम है, उनको सिर्फ 3 महीने में एक बार रिटर्न भरना पड़ेगा. In spite of such major rate reductions and relaxations, revenue trends are encouraging. The average monthly tax collection in the current year is 97,100 crore per month as compared to 89,700 crore last year. और अब तो सिर्फ दूसरा ही साल चल रहा है, इसमें इतनी वृद्धि हो गई. कल फिगर आया कि अंदाजन इस साल का जनवरी का जो जीएसटी है वो तो 1 लाख करोड़ को पार कर रहा है. 1,03,000 लगभग 1,03,000 करोड़ इस जनवरी का जीएसटी कलेक्शन अनुमानित है. The state revenues are improving with guaranteed 14% annual revenue increase for the first 5 years. हर राज्य को 14% उनके टैक्स का ग्रोथ केंद्र सरकार ने सुनिश्चित किया है और अंडरराइट किया है. किसका कम भी हो ग्रोथ तो केंद्र सरकार अधिक पैसा देती है. तो मैं समझता हूँ ये अपने आप में एक विशेषता रही जीएसटी को लागू करने में और सफलता से लागू करने में. Customs and trading across borders reforms. To promote the Make in India initiative, we have undertaken rationalization of customs duties and procedures. Our government has abolished duties on 36 capital goods. A revised system of importing duty-free capital goods and inputs for manufacture and export has been introduced, along with introduction of single point of approval under Section 65 of the Customs Act. Indian Customs is introducing full and comprehensive digitization of export-import transactions and leveraging RFID to improve export logistics. Demonetization and drive against black money. Our government is committed to eliminating the ills of black money from our country. The anti-black money measures taken by us during the last 4.5 years in the form of black money law, the Fugitive Criminal Offenders Act and demonetization have brought undisclosed income of about 1,30,000 crore to tax, led to seizure and attachment of assets worth approximately 50,000 crores and compelled holders of large cash currency to disclose their source of earnings. During this period, Benami assets worth rupees 6,900 crore and foreign assets worth rupees 1,600 crore have also been attached. As many as 3,38,000 shell companies have been detected and deregistered and their directors disqualified. Growth of 18% in direct tax collection in 2017-18 and increase in tax base by as many as 1 crore 6 lakh people filing income tax returns for the first time in the financial year 17-18. 1 करोड़ से अधिक लोगों ने डिमोनेटाइजेशन के बाद पहली बार इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न भरा. Vision for the next decade. ये सरकार माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के कुशल नेतृत्व में बहुत ही तेज गति से प्रगति कर रही है और समाज के हर वर्ग तक विकास पहुंचे, इसके लिए प्रतिबद्ध है। अब आने वाले 10 वर्ष का मैं थोड़ा आपके समक्ष रखना चाहूँगा। Madam Speaker, the NDA government, headed by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, has laid the foundation for India's growth and development for times to come. माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक बार जिक्र किया था, शायद रामलीला की याद फिर एक बार सबको आ रही है। We have resolved many problems which were coming in the way of realizing our full potential as a society and an economy. We are poised to become a $5 trillion economy in the next 5 years, and we aspire to become a $10 trillion economy in the next 8 years thereafter. In the Indian ethos, anything which is good is supposed to bestow, cause, create, and do good in all 10 directions. कुछ अच्छा काम करो तो चारों दिशाओं में वो फैलना चाहिए और उसका लाभ चारों दिशा तक पहुंचना चाहिए. I will therefore lay out our vision for the 10 most important dimensions जो हमें 2030 तक इस देश को और हमारी सरकार को प्रेरणा देगा. The first dimension of this vision will be to build infrastructure, physical as well as social, for a $10 trillion economy and to provide ease of living, not only ease of business, ease of living. It will comprise next generation infrastructure for roads, railways, seaports, airports, urban transport, gas and electric transmission, and inland waterways. On the social infrastructure side, every family will have a roof on its head and we will live in a healthy, clean and wholesome environment. We will also build a quality, science-oriented educational system with institutes of excellence providing leadership at the top. The second dimension of our vision is to create a digital India reaching every sector of the economy, every corner of the country, and impacting the life of all Indians. Digital infrastructure and digital economy of 2030 will be built upon the successes achieved in recent years in digitization of government processes and private transactions. Our youth will lead us in this endeavor with innumerable startups, creating digital India and millions of jobs in the ecosystem. Making India a pollution-free nation with green Mother Earth and blue skies is the third dimension of our vision. This India, Madam Speaker, this India will drive on electric vehicles. With renewables becoming a major source of energy supply. India will lead the world in the transport revolution through electric vehicles and energy storage devices, bringing down import dependence and ensuring energy security for our people. Madam Speaker, जब विदेश से हमें तेल नहीं लाना पड़ेगा, गैस नहीं लानी पड़ेगी, तो मुझे और रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के नए स्रोतों और तेज गति से बिजली देंगे और इलेक्ट्रिक कार्स में लोग सफर करेंगे, मेरा मानना है विदेशी मुद्रा बचेगी और देश आत्मनिर्भर बनेगा. Expanding rural industrialization using modern digital technologies to generate massive employment is the fourth dimension of our vision. This will be built upon the Make in India approach to develop grassroots level clusters, structures and mechanisms encompassing the MSMEs, village industries and startups spread in every nook and corner of the country. India is now on the way to become a global manufacturing hub in various sectors, including automobiles and electronics, defense and medical devices. Our rivers and water bodies are our life-supporting assets. Our government has worked vigorously for cleaning River Ganga. Fifth dimension of our vision for India of 2030 is clean rivers with safe drinking water to all Indians, sustaining and nourishing life and efficient use of water in irrigation using micro-irrigation techniques. India's long coastline has the potential of becoming the strength of the economy, particularly through exploitation of the blue economy, to ensure better standards and quality of life for a large number of people living in the coastal areas. मैं समझता हूँ गुजरात के दिनों से ही माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की संवेदना ये लोगों के साथ रही है जो मछुआरे हैं, जो कोस्ट के साथ काम करते हैं. Our efforts in the Sagarmala program will be scaled up and we will develop other inland waterways faster. Our coastline and our ocean waters powering India's development and growth is the sixth dimension of our vision. The seventh dimension of our vision aims at the outer skies. Our space program, Gaganyaan, India becoming the launch pad of satellites for the world and placing an Indian astronaut into space by 2022 reflect this dimension of our vision. Making India self-sufficient in food, exporting to the world to meet their food needs and producing food in the most organic way is the eighth dimension of our vision. High farm production and productivity will be achieved through modern agricultural practices and value addition. An integrated approach towards agro and food, processing, preservation, packaging and maintenance of the cold chain will be our focus of attention. A healthy India is the ninth dimension of our vision. We will be aiming at healthy society with an environment of health assurance and the support of necessary infrastructure. Our government has rolled out the Ayushman Bharat scheme. By 2030, we will work towards a distress-free healthcare and a functional and comprehensive wellness system for all. Such a healthy India, built with the participation of women, having equal rights and concern for their safety and empowerment. Madam Speaker, our vision can be delivered by Team India, our employees working together with the elected government, transforming India into a minimum government, maximum governance nation. This is the 10th dimension. Our India of 2030 will have a proactive and responsible bureaucracy which will be viewed as friendly to the people. With this comprehensive 10-dimensional vision, we will create an India where poverty, malnutrition, littering and illiteracy would be a matter of the past. India would be a modern, technology-driven, high-growth, equitable and transparent society. Madam, I come to the fiscal program for 2019-20 and beyond. The estimate of incomes and expenditure, which I am presenting today, pegs the fiscal deficit of year 2019-20 at 3.4% of the GDP. We would have maintained fiscal deficit at 3.3% for the current year very easily, and maybe taken more steps to further consolidate the fiscal deficit in the next year. However, considering the need for income support to the farmers, we have provided 20,000 crore in the current year, revised estimate, and 75,000 crore next year. If we exclude this, the fiscal deficit would have been less than 3.3% for the current year and less than 3.1% for next year. The total expenditure rises from 24,57,235 crore in 18-19 revised estimate to 27,84,200 crore in the 19-20 budget estimate, a rise of approximately 13.3%. और इसको इस परिप्रेक्ष्य में देखना होगा कि 10% से महंगाई हम सिर्फ 4.5% पे ले आए। तो ये नॉमिनल ग्रोथ के हिसाब से खर्चा बढ़ता है। अगर 10% महंगाई के हिसाब से चलता तो आप सोचिए इसमें ग्रोथ कुछ भी नहीं होती। तो ये हमारे काम के परिणाम है कि कम महंगाई और फिर भी तेज गति से सरकार खर्चा कर रही है। Centrally sponsored schemes. This reflects a high increase considering low inflation. Capital expenditure for 2019-20 budget estimate is estimated to be 3,36,292 crores. Centrally sponsored schemes are proposed to be allocated 3,27,679 crore in the budget estimate 19-20, as against 3,04,849 crore in the revised estimate of the current year. Allocation for National Education Mission is being increased from 32,334 crore in the revised estimate to 38,572 crore in budget estimate 19-20. Allocation for Integrated Child Development Scheme is being increased from 23,357 crore in RE's 18-19 to 27,584 crore in BE 19-20. A substantial increase is proposed in the allocation for welfare of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. The allocation of rupees 56,619 crore made in budget estimate 18-19 for scheduled castes further increased to rupees 62,474 crore in our revised estimate of the current year, and is now proposed to be further increased in the budget estimate next year to 76,801 crore. ये 35% बढ़ोतरी है scheduled caste के लिए, 35.6% increase. For the scheduled tribes also, proposed allocation in budget estimate 19-20 is rupees 50,086 crore as against 39,135 crore in budget estimate 18-19, an increase of 28%. We have pursued the public enterprises asset management agenda to make these enterprises accountable to the people. As many as 57 central public sector enterprises are now listed with a market cap of over 13 lakh crores. The government received 1 lakh crore from disinvestment proceeds last year. We are confident of crossing the target of rupees 80,000 crore this year. We have maintained the glide path towards our target of 3% of fiscal deficit to be achieved by 2020-21. India's debt to GDP, which was 46.5% in 17-18, while the FRBM Act prescribes that the debt to GDP ratio should be brought down to 40% by 2024-25. Along with completion of our fiscal deficit consolidation program, we'll now focus on debt consolidation program. Our government had promised last year that we will carry out reforms in stamp duty levied and collected on financial securities transactions. I am proposing, therefore, through the Finance Bill, necessary amendments in this regard. The amendments proposed will usher in a very streamlined system. Stamp duties would be levied on one instrument relating to one transaction and get collected only at one place through the stock exchange. The duty so collected will be shared with all the state governments seamlessly on the basis of domicile of the buying client. Madam Speaker, now I come to Part B of the tax proposals. On behalf of all the people of India and on behalf of our government, I would first like to thank all our taxpayers for their valuable contribution to nation building and for providing a better quality life to the poor and marginalized sections of society. Your tax helps provide dignity to our sisters and mothers with toilets and cooking gas connections. Your tax pays for the electricity connections to the poor who have lived in darkness for generations. The tax you pay will provide health care to 50 crore brothers and sisters and children. It is you who is ensuring. It is you who is ensuring respect, dignity, and a secure future to our retired Jawans through one rank, one pension. Thank you, taxpayers. Because of all these major tax reforms undertaken by us during the last 4.5 years, both tax collection as well as the tax base have shown significant increase, and we have made progress towards achieving a moderate taxation, high compliance regime. It is therefore just and equitable that some benefits from the tax reforms must also be passed on to the middle class taxpayers. Keeping this in view, I propose to further reduce the tax burden on such taxpayers. Though, Madam Speaker, as per convention, the main tax proposals will be presented in the regular budget, small taxpayers, especially the middle class, salary earners, pensioners, and senior citizens need certainty in their minds at the beginning of the year about their taxes. Therefore, proposals particularly relating to such class of persons should not wait. Hence, while for the present, the existing rates of income tax will continue for FY 19-20 also, I propose the following changes. Individual taxpayers having taxable annual income up to rupees 5 lakhs will get full tax rebate. not be required to pay any tax. As a result, even persons having gross income up to rupees 6.5 lakhs may not be required to pay any income tax if they make investments in provident funds, specified savings, insurance, etc. 6.5 लाख तक जब आप ये इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हो तो 6.5 लाख तक भी कोई टैक्स नहीं आएगा अगर आप इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हो स्पेसिफाइड सेविंग्स में. In fact, with additional deductions such as interest on home loan up to 2 lakhs, interest on educational loans, national pension scheme contributions, medical insurance, medical expenditure on senior citizens, with all of these other exemptions, deductions, persons having even higher income will not have to pay any tax. This will provide tax benefit of 18,500 crore rupees to an estimated 3 crore middle-class taxpayers comprising self-employed, small business, small traders, salary earners, pensioners and senior citizens. ऐसे लगभग 3 करोड़ लोग अलग-अलग वर्गों से मध्यम वर्गीय उनको टैक्स से लगभग इससे पूरी तरीके से मुक्ति मिल जाएगी. For salaried persons, standard deduction is being raised from the current 40,000 to rupees 50,000. This will provide additional tax benefit of rupees 4,700 crore to more than 3 crore salary earners and pensioners. Currently, income tax on notional rent is payable if one has more than one self-occupied house. Considering the difficulty of the middle class having to maintain families at 2 locations on account of their job, children's education, care of parents, etc., I am proposing to exempt levy of income tax on notional rent on a second self-occupied house. ये बहुत खास एक विषय मैं आप सबके समक्ष रखना चाह रहा हूं. TDS threshold on interest earned on bank or post office deposits is being raised from 10,000 to 40,000 rupees. ये मैं मैडम स्पीकर इसलिए महत्व कह रहा हूँ कि कई हमारे पेंशनर्स हैं, कई महिलाएं हैं जो नौकरी या काम नहीं करती हैं पर उनकी पूंजी बैंक में रखती हैं. उनको TDS के कारण उनको इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न भरना पड़ता था, रिफंड लेना पड़ता था. अब 40,000 तक जब ब्याज मिलेगा बैंक से या पोस्ट ऑफिस डिपॉजिट से, उस पे TDS नहीं होगा. This will benefit small depositors and non-working spouses. Further, the TDS threshold for deduction of tax on rent is proposed to be increased from 1,80,000 to 2,40,000. अगर आप रेंट 2,40,000 तक होता है तो TDS की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. मैडम, एक मध्यम वर्गीय परिवारों में एक और ज्वलन समस्या कई बार देखी गई. मैं मुंबई से आता हूं. मुंबई में हमने कई बार देखा कोई दक्षिण मुंबई में रहता है, वो अपना घर बेच के दोनों बच्चों के लिए 2 घर खरीदना चाहे, दूर इलाकों में जाना चाहे, तो उसके लिए एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय सरकार ने इस बजट द्वारा लिया है. द बेनिफिट ऑफ रोल ओवर ऑफ कैपिटल गेन्स अंडर सेक्शन 54 of the Income Tax Act will be increased from investment in one residential house to 2 residential houses. For a taxpayer having capital gains up to rupees 2 crores. This benefit can be availed once in a lifetime. For making Madam, affordable housing को प्रोत्साहन देने के लिए, for making more homes available under affordable housing, the benefits under Section 81BA of the Income Tax Act is being extended for 1 more year. 80 IBA of the Income Tax Act is being extended for 1 more year. That is to all the housing projects which are approved till 31st March 2020. तो अब जो भी नया हाउसिंग प्रोजेक्ट बनेगा गरीबों के लिए, मध्यम वर्गीय, 2020 तक अपने आप को अगर रजिस्टर कर ले तो उसको इनकम टैक्स में छूट मिलेगी. Also, for giving impetus to the real estate sector, I have proposed to extend the period of exemption from levy of notional income tax on income tax on notional rent on unsold inventories from 1 year to 2 years from the end of the year in which the project is completed. कभी हमारे पास किसी के पास कोई घर है अभी बिका नहीं है, कोई ऑफिस है बिका नहीं है, तो 1 साल के बाद नोशनल रेंट पे इनकम टैक्स भरना पड़ता था. वो 2 साल तक उनको इनकम टैक्स की छूट दे दी गई है. मैडम, मैं अपने कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क्स पे आता हूं. अध्यक्षा महोदय, यह सिर्फ इंटरिम बजट नहीं है, यह देश की विकास यात्रा का माध्यम है. ये जो देश बदल रहा है, देशवासियों के जोश से बदल रहा है. उसका श्रेय और उसका यश उन्हीं को जाता है, भारत की जनता को जाता है. हमारी सरकार के कार्यकाल में विकास एक जन आंदोलन बन गया है. मैडम स्पीकर, हिंदी के एक बहुत विख्यात कवि थे, बहुत प्रगतिशील माने जाते थे, हिंदी में कविता करते थे, पर मूलतः मेरे राज्य महाराष्ट्र से आते थे, जहाँ से मैं भी आता हूँ. मराठी भाषी थे. उनकी एक कविता की मात्र 2 पंक्तियाँ आपके समक्ष रखना चाहता हूँ. सिर्फ 2 पंक्तियाँ. एक पाँव रखता हूँ, 1000 राहें फूट पड़ती हैं. हमने नए भारत के निर्माण के लिए इतने नए, सशक्त, प्रभावी कदम उठाए हैं कि आज भारत हर क्षेत्र में दुनिया के स्तर पर अनंत संभावनाओं से भरा हुआ देश ऐसे देखा जाता है. हम देशवासियों के बलबूते पर भारत को दुनिया का एक अग्रणी देश बनाएंगे. हम सब ने साथ मिलकर अभी नींव रखी है. We have only created the foundation. अब भारत की जनता के साथ मिलकर इस देश की भव्य इमारत बनाने जा रहे हैं। मैडम स्पीकर, इसके लिए हमने एक निर्णायक नेतृत्व दिया जिसकी नीयत साफ है, नीति स्पष्ट है और निष्ठा अटल है। नीयत साफ है, नीति स्पष्ट है और निष्ठा अटल है। With this, Madam Speaker, I commend the budget to this august House.
Item number 2. Item number 2. पीयूष जी, यस, अभी नहीं, अभी उनको करने दो। पीयूष जी,
तब तक शांत रहे, तब तक आप बोले, तब तक शांत रहे।
आइटम नंबर,
तब तक हम शांत रहे। इसको देख लीजिए।
Madam, I rise to lay on the table medium-term fiscal policy fiscal policy strategy statement and number 2 macroeconomic framework statement under section 3(1) of the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management FRBM Act 2003.
yes. Item number 3.
Madam, I rise to move for leave to introduce the Finance Bill 2019.
Yes. The question is that leave be granted to introduce the Finance Bill 2009. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. Leave is granted. The minister may now introduce the Finance.
Madam, I introduce the bill.
The House stands adjourned to meet again on Monday.